I think it's correct to say that, once you're past a certain level, the amount of capital you get from management fees only theoretically could sort of distort your focus, right? But I don't see people asking that about private equity, right? And private equity, the funds are much bigger and they still charge 1.5 or 1.7% or something, right? So, and if you look at the big funds in the US, a lot of the big funds, yes, it is true that they probably get way too many millions in terms of management fees, but they still hit the jackpot. So there's also something to be said. I think there's two things here. Number one, we must avoid in Europe this sort of disguised by alignment of interest. There's a bit of a kind of, I wouldn't say envy, but a kind of like, well, we can't let these people make money, right? Otherwise, they'll be disincentivized. Well, look at the Americans. Are they disincentivized despite the fact that they make dozens of millions per year in management fees? It doesn't look like it, right? I think when you have a really good manager, yes, it is nice to get good management fees so that you can pay for your college tuition for your kids and so on and have a comfortable life. But after a certain stage, you actually focus even more on the challenge and on getting things done and so on. And if you don't, quite frankly, you're not going to perform and you disappear. I think what happens a lot in Europe is some of the larger LPs are so worried that people are going to have a nice car or a good house or that they'll not be struggling to pay the bills, that they keep the industry small.
Hmm.
And I think the upside of having a much bigger industry would be much, much bigger for everybody involved, both founders and GPs and LPs. So we need to sort of stop this conversation about, oh, you cannot have too big a fund because then you're not going to focus on returns. You're going to only focus on management fees because that's not true. And the numbers don't say that. And the people that do that will be driven out of the market because they will not have the return. So we should let the market work.